Oh, now it's live. Hi guys, and welcome to the Game Day preview show. Obviously, we're out of the studio this week. We're having to do a little bit of work from home. It's crazy. But of course, you've still got me and you've still got Flex. We haven't seen each other for so long, Flex. Hi.
I know what's happening. Today's been it's been a mad day. I've had to just change everything around. We've made it happen. No. The show goes on. Do you know what I mean? The show goes on. What are you saying?
The show goes on. Not the only thing that's been changed around today, obviously, with the Champions League, that whole fiasco.
Rigged FC.
Rigged FC, indeed. But we will talk about that shortly. Anyway, we have got so much stuff to recap. Right, so to run through the weekend's results before we push on and talk about this week's games. So Brentford beat Watford 1-0 Friday. That seems ages ago now. That's mad, isn't it? Well, I feel like that was so long ago. But
I watched that game as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched the first half of that game. Anyway, so Chelsea beat Leeds 3-2. Manchester City won, Wolves 0. Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. Arsenal beat Southampton 3-0. United beat Norwich 1-0. Burnley West Ham was a ball draw. Leicester 4-0 Newcastle, and Crystal Palace 3, Everton 1. Of course, the Brighton versus Spurs game was off because of COVID. Pretty much forgot about that as well. God, it's been a really busy few weeks, hasn't it? Don't forget to do your team of the week as well. Head over to the Don Robbie Extra app, www.donrobbie.com to pick your team of the week and get exclusive Don Robbie content. Of course, we'll be sharing Flex's team of the week later on in the show. Right, so should we start with Arsenal? Because they take on West Ham, don't they?
Yeah.
And what day is that actually on? Let's have a look. I can't actually keep up with how many fixtures there are at the moment.
That game is on Wednesday.
That is on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Arsenal won at the weekend, didn't they, against Southampton? But Aubameyang was left out of Arsenal's squad. Another disciplinary breach. I mean, I feel like he literally breaches it all the time.
It's getting mad with Aubameyang. I mean, look, the only reason I don't like going in too much on this is because, like, you don't know the ins and outs. I saw David Ornstein was reporting that basically he got sent to pick his mum up from another country. He got back late. Then he had to get left out. I don't know if his mum was ill or something and it made them say, look, I don't want to go in and say, oh, what a disgrace when it weren't his fault. I don't know. But what I do know, like if we are sticking to the facts, it seems to be just another thing. He's had to get a disciplinary as well. I find it difficult to believe that if it wasn't his fault in terms of there was a serious issue, a health issue, and if it wasn't negligence, surely it would be really harsh of Arteta to kind of banish him from the squad and give him a disciplinary. And Arteta seems quite down the line. When it happened against you guys before the Tottenham game and he left him out, I think that was because he was just late to the team bus or something. So Arteta doesn't strike me as the manager to just, be authoritarian for the sake of it and just be horrible to players to make a point. I think they must have looked at it and said this was on him. Difficult to kind of go full heart. But Arsenal fans entitled to be like, what's going on? This is our captain. Whatever way you look at it, that's 2 disciplinary breaches within a short space of time, man, in the same season.
It is not good at all because it just, like you said, for the fact that he's the captain as well, that just, that screams problems. And
he liked Ronaldo's post the other day as well. After losing.
He did.
So whose fault's that?
Whoever's running his Instagram, because I doubt he's doing it. But that is just not good, especially when he's your club captain. Anyway, on to the West Ham game. Arsenal have won their last 4 Premier League home games, keeping a clean sheet in all of the last 3, which is really good for them. The Gunners last won 4 in a row at home without conceding back in May 2017. So it's been quite a long time, but they've been building up nicely, I guess, haven't they? They've had a few blips along the way against United, against Liverpool, but, against
Everton.
Against Everton, I forgot about that one actually as well.
Yeah, don't let them off the hook, man. Their fans ain't that happy. There's a half thing going on, maybe a little bit more 60-40 pressure on Arteta. It ain't rosy there.
I think
even after they beat Southampton, they were like, no, this ain't good enough, even though we won 3-0.
It flip-flops a lot. And I think the problem with the Everton game is the fact that they just weren't up for it.
That was a horrible performance.
They just weren't up for it. They didn't care. They didn't want to go to Merseyside on a cold, Monday night in December.
Yeah.
But you could tell. And I think that's the problem because when they keep winning these games against maybe like lower opposition, but as soon as they face anyone that's better, or even in the case of Everton, someone that was bang up for a fight, they just crumble. They're just not at the races. But in comparison to West Ham, I know obviously they drew at the weekend with Burnley. Burnley, but they're still on such a great run. They beat Chelsea the week before. But actually, David Moyes has never won away against Arsenal. 17 attempts in the Premier League at that. It's the most a manager has played away at a single club without ever winning in the competition. But it's also his 600th Premier League game in charge as a manager. So this could be a good one. I mean, I think just West Ham are up for anyone, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not fearing anyone right now. They'll be disappointed not to have got the win against Burnley. Nick Pope was at it. Some good saves he was forceful. Was it Ben Rama, Bowen, Declan Rice, I think. Good saves, but they will be ready for Arsenal. Arsenal, if they think that everything's back to normal because they beat a poor Southampton side and Southampton played all right in patches, they're mistaken if they think that they're going to have an easy game against West Ham. I don't think any Arsenal fan thinks that, and Arsenal will know they're in for a tough game. They'll have to be on form to beat them. They really will.
I totally agree with you. Agree with you. All right, let's predict this one because I think I think this is West Ham for me, and this is not even me being biased. I just don't like to bet against West Ham, because I feel we've seen what they can do against Liverpool, against Spurs. Okay, arguably Spurs were terrible that day, but against Chelsea, I think that West Ham. I think it'd be stupid to bet against West Ham, to be honest with you.
I'm going to go with a draw, 1-1.
Okay, I'm going to go. I reckon there's goals in this game. I do. I think that this could be like another 3-2.
3-2, you're going, yeah? Okay,
yeah, because Arsenal do score, They do score goals, and so do West Ham. And I think that, I'm going to go 3-2. I'm just going to back West Ham on this and go 3-2.
I think it'd be cagey. 1-1 I'm going with.
Cagey? I don't feel like they're ever cagey, though.
I don't know. I just got a feeling. I don't know, like West Ham, the last game, they struggled to score. Arsenal are only just getting back to business because Arsenal haven't been free scoring. I know they scored 3 against Southampton, but before that,
but they still scored 2 against you guys.
One was really weird though.
It was weird. It was really, really weird.
The hair was just on the floor, but no, it's a goal. It's a goal. I don't know. I just think like these two teams might cancel each other out a bit because West Ham are solid defensively, don't give a lot away. I don't see Arsenal beating them up sort of 3-0 or anything like that. That's why I don't see West Ham going there and scoring 2 or 3. So that's why I think 1-1.
That's fair. Right, Leicester versus Spurs, COVID versus COVID, basically. Because is
that game going to go on then? Is Spurs all right now?
Spurs have had, I think their first team training ground opened again today, the area that they can train. I think 2 of the players at first tested positive have come back today as well. So I don't reckon that everyone's going to be back. It'd be really interesting to see because they still haven't even confirmed who did and who didn't have COVID. But I think that it's going ahead as far as I'm concerned. Leicester obviously have their own illness issues, COVID and not COVID related as well. So we'll have to see. But Spurs have failed to score in either of their last 2 Premier League games, away games, sorry. 15 shots combined in those games. I feel like we haven't even played away from home for so long. Yeah. I'm trying to actually think what that was. It might have actually been Everton because I can't think of another game.
Conte's first game. Yeah,
we played Leeds at home, we played Brentford at home. I think it might have been that. So,
and then Moura away. So that's
Moura away, exactly. Harry Kane has scored more goals against Leicester in all competitions than he has any other side. That's 17 in 16 games. Hopefully, this might be the turning point. Harry Kane can actually start getting some goals. James Maddison is back at the races at the moment, isn't he? He was on fire against
yesterday,
Newcastle. He's been directly involved in 6 goals in his last 4 Premier League appearances. Spurs obviously can't afford for this game to be postponed.
No,
I think Burnley wasn't Spurs' fault first and foremost, and I don't know why they're getting so much stick because
none of it's Spurs' fault. If there's COVID about what's supposed to do?
I don't get what the stick is about. There's all this uproar about from Rennes and Vitesse, and honestly, just kick us out.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone cares. Just take the hit. No one cares. Just make a decision and put us out of it. But I don't get what the whole hoo-ha is about the Brighton game being called off. I mean, why would you can't go around spreading COVID? So
no.
It's in the best interest of everyone. But obviously Spurs do have 2 games in hand, which could bode well as the season goes on. How do you see this one going, Flex?
It's quite difficult to judge because you don't really want to get involved in saying Leicester are back. They played against a really poor Newcastle side yesterday. Dodgy penalty on Maddison, I would say, but they went on and completely dismantled them with ease, with big ease. Spurs being out for a couple of games as well. They haven't got that match rhythm. So this game could be a bit bitty. It might not be that exciting. But Leicester will probably fancy themselves. Definitely fancy themselves.
Away from home.
Coming back, haven't played it. Yeah, away from home. I think Leicester might nick this one. 2-1.
Mm,
I just
okay.
think with the interruptions you've had, haven't played in a couple of games. Leicester have done. Although it was Newcastle and Newcastle are poor, they'll have a little bit of confidence. Like you said, James Maddison, even though they weren't getting the right results, he was still scoring in them games where they lost and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 Leicester.
Okay, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go 1-1, but I am going to back Harry Kane to score in this game.
Eventually.
I'm going to back him to score. I mean, he was getting pelters. If you look, he tweeted something about F1 yesterday, and like Spurs fans in the comments were going, any chance you could just actually score, Harry? And
I saw him tweet about the F1.
Yeah. So like the fan base is really turned, and I just think he needs to get a goal. Just get a goal and just get your head down and focus on actually what you kind of have to do, which is scoring goals and finding some form. Right. Anyway, on to Brentford versus Manchester United. Ronaldo obviously saved the day once again for United. It's clear that obviously, I know you guys were buzzing about Rangnick when, that first game, but he's got work to do to overhaul that United side, doesn't he, Flex?
100%. Even against Palace, it was only the first 30 minutes that was what we want to see. And the rest of it was kind of just being organised and make sure we don't concede chances. But the Norwich game, you don't want to go too overboard with being concerned because it's only a second game. But like I said, it just proves what a big job he's got to do. Can't just get this team playing instantly in 2 games the way he wants to play. And, we made Norwich look good at times. It was quite concerning. No disrespect to Norwich, but the way they've been playing has been horrendous. Dean Smith did stabilise them, though. You know what I mean? And when you're fighting for your life at the bottom of the table, I suppose, you got to give them a bit of credit, which I do. They did play well, but we were particularly poor. But defensively, obviously a clean sheet is good. But just on that game, we don't know if this game is going to go ahead as well.
You've got problems as well, haven't you?
We've shut the training ground today. We had 4 positive tests after the Norwich game, and those guys have then gone on to get PCR tests and have come back positive as well. So they've been around other players. Who's to say you don't wake up tomorrow and later on tonight and more players get positive? So I would be surprised if that game goes ahead. To be honest,
it's quite interesting because obviously we played Norwich the week before. And then you've played Norwich. Maybe it's something to do with Norwich?
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Is that because you played them and then the next game was Brighton and you couldn't play?
Yeah, we played them, and the next game we played them on the Sunday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we played them on the Sunday, and then obviously everything unravelled after that. And then,
but then they're not going to be able to play. To be fair to Norwich, or just if any team following the protocols, they're not going to be able to have played Man United if they returned X amount of negative tests or whatever. So
that's just it's odd though, isn't it? It's odd it's after both those fixtures. Norwich players haven't contracted it either way. Whether it's come from us or whoever. It's very strange, very, very strange. But anyway, we put it on the bottom of the screen. This is the first league meeting between Brentford and Manchester United since April 1947. Wow, that is a long time ago. All 10 of Brentford's Premier League home goals have been scored by different players, which is quite interesting as well. Manchester United have also won both their 2 league games under Ralph Rangnick 1-0. And Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 7 Premier League goals this season. Are you going to have to rely on him again for this game if it goes ahead?
It'd be a tough game. If we play against Norwich, we'll get beat. As simple as that. We will get beat. That's how poorly we played against Norwich. I don't think they will play as poorly as that. I do fancy us, but it's going to be a really tough game. I watched Brentford against Watford. Watford, ahead before half time, but Watford just really poor defensively. Brentford weren't that great. I spoke to someone at Brentford a couple of days ago, and he was saying we really wasn't good. It's just Watford's poor defending and mistakes that almost handed them that win. Yes, they kept going and they believed in themselves, but no disrespect, they wasn't great. There wasn't a lot of quality in that game. And if Brentford play like that as well, I do expect us to win. But having said that, considering they were missing about 4 to 5 players, including Ivan Toney and stuff like that, they've got gears to go up themselves as well, so they can argue that. So I do think we have to be at it. I'm going to go 2-1 win.
Okay.
If it goes ahead, 2-1 win.
As in 2-1 for United or for Brentford?
Of course.
Okay, I'm gonna back. Do you know what? I'm gonna back Brentford. I'm gonna go 2-1 Brentford because I think you were shocking the other day.
We were, but I don't think we'll play as badly as that though. That's because we were that shocking. That'll be a wake up.
I don't. I think that you're still shocking. So I think that I'm gonna back Brentford at home as well. Look at that face.
If that happens, just wait. I'll just come for you because you're doing the extra. You're doing the extra York shocking thing. So
I think you were the other day. I think that you got very, very lucky. And I think that you also said that Spurs were going to lose to Leicester. So, yeah.
So you're just doing... All right, that's fine. Okay.
Well, we'll call it even. Chelsea versus Everton. Chelsea have been struggling of late, to be fair, which is something we've literally said the whole season. Jorginho scoring... Mate. I know, Everton is... This is a bit for the taking. Jorginho scoring a last-minute penalty to beat Leeds. Good on Leeds. You know, they fought all the way. On all the top 3 sides last weekend fought hard by winning penalties. And you know, then they got themselves over the line. Chelsea are unbeaten in the last 26 Premier League home games against Everton. They've won 15, drawn 6. So stats will tell you that this is definitely not in Everton's favour. The last time they lost to Everton was November 1994. So 28 years ago, pretty much. That's a good record. However, Chelsea have conceded 8 goals in their last 3 games in all competitions, as many as they had done in their previous 18 combined. So something is obviously going on there at the back. Do you think it's to do with the contract issues, maybe? You know, Rudiger out contract, Christensen out contract.
I think them players are good enough to, you know, that it isn't the contract situation. I just think it just, like Tuchel said, they've just hit a little bit of a blip, and the fact that they haven't had Kante and Kovacic and Jorginho for large parts, any one of them 2 playing in there as a constant, they're conceding a lot of chances and hence conceding a lot of goals. They don't have that balance and control over games that they're used to having with those 2 in there, whether it be Kante and Jorginho, Kovacic and Kante, whoever. Big misses, I think. So they've had to chop and change a little bit, and I think that's had an effect on them. But Everton, it was just the only reason they beat Arsenal. Again, it wasn't even that great Everton. It was kind of like 2 poor teams played against each other, and they showed up.
Yeah.
And then the normal Everton showed up last night against Palace, because I watched that game. Palace were really, really good.
They would, but Everton were also really, really bad.
Everton, crap. So I think Chelsea will sweep them aside. I do, because Everton they're just not there right now. And exactly like Fazor said there in the comments, will Rafa even be there? The pressure is on this guy. And if, you know, we done well to ease the pressure against Arsenal, because if he'd lost that, I think he probably would have been out. If he loses against Chelsea by a big margin, you know what I mean? The lights could be, the pressure could be there. Lights could be out.
I totally agree with you. Okay, so Everton, as we said, this could be really, really bad. And also Rafa Benitez, we didn't expect them to beat Arsenal when they did, because I was looking like they were going to take no points at all, like out of 12. I thought they were going to go 12, you know, that way. Yeah. Do you think they have, you know, do you think they've got any belief in Rafa still? I know the board have come out and said that they have, but I don't really think the fans do.
The fans, like I said at the beginning of the season, he needed a good start, and he actually got a good start to make them buy in, because as soon as it goes rotten, he ain't got any credit in the bank. You know, a lot of fans, nearly all of their fan base didn't want him, if not all. Do you know what I mean? And for obvious reasons. So if this keeps going, I don't think they do have a lot of faith in him. Yes, Calvert-Lewin hasn't been there, but you know, he's now not picking Luca Digne as well, who he's reluctant to kind of say why. He's saying he's training properly now, so now he'll be involved. So it might have been a disciplinary thing. So there's murmurs going on there. That was never an issue under any other manager before.
And a good player, a really good player for Everton.
Really good player. So having to play Ben Godfrey left back instead of him, you know, is not ideal, even though Godfrey's decent. So I don't think, to answer your question, I don't think there is a lot of faith in Rafa. And I can see this being a comprehensive Chelsea win, 3-0.
Okay, I'm going to go also 3-0 Chelsea. I'm going to match you. On to Liverpool versus Newcastle. Eddie Howe has lost.
Is that who they got next? Oh,
yeah,
no.
I mean, it's not a good Christmas period for Newcastle either.
Jamal, mate.
Just wait for this. Eddie Howe has lost his last 6 Premier League games against Liverpool. They've got an aggregate score of 19-1. So, again, this is not looking good.
Is that Anfield?
It is at Anfield. Liverpool. They're just going to steamroll them.
Actually, doesn't matter where it was. Doesn't matter where it was.
They're just going to steamroll them anyway. It doesn't really matter when you're Newcastle, to be fair. Liverpool's Mohamed Salah has either scored or assisted in each of his last 14 Premier League appearances. Just one of Jamie Vardy's record of 15 set between August and December 2015. He's obviously going to go and break that record. I mean, this has to be a Liverpool win, doesn't it?
Yep. It's not even being disrespectful. It's being realistic, and I think any Newcastle fan would tell you that. They've been absolutely horrendous. The way they capitulated yesterday against Leicester as well, after doing okay until that penalty incident, just absolute capitulation. They can't keep clean sheets. They're not scoring enough goals.
No.
They don't defend well enough. They're all over the place, and it could be a really big scoreline against Liverpool. It could be 4, 5, 6. It really could. I'm gonna say. I never do this. I'm going to say 5-0.
I was actually going to say 5 as well. So
Was you going to say 5?
yeah, I was going to say 5. I think it'll be more than 4, but less than 6. So therefore, it's 5.
Yeah. I know, and I don't really like doing that and being quite massive with, predictions. But the way they've been playing and the way Liverpool been playing,
I just want to tell you this comment I've just seen from Kamaran, who said Abbi backing Brentford is delusional. I don't think it's delusional. I really don't. I think that I think weird things have happened. Yeah.
I do think it's delusional. To be fair, it's against Man United.
I mean, I'm more than happy for I'm happy for Ralph to prove me wrong, but I can only base it off of the last game, and based on the last game, I don't think that you were very good.
No, we wasn't very good last time. But like I said though, in our defense, because I will defend us, that's why I think we won't play as bad as that. But anyway,
who did you have midweek again in the Champions League? I know it was obviously a dead game, but
yeah, young boys played their kids and stuff. Yeah,
young boys.
1-1.
1-1.
Who did you have in the Champions League?
We didn't. We had COVID.
What about the European game before that?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we'll move on.
Cool.
Manchester City against Leeds. I mean, Leeds have actually shown a bit of fighting spirit in the last few weeks.
Yeah, they have. They have.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than what they were doing before. At least they're fighting for it, unlike various other teams in the bottom 3. Raheem Sterling joins the Premier League 100 club in a timely manner.
Can we just have some respect? Just 1 second, quickly.
Yeah.
Look, I know there's Man United fans who, obviously because it's a City player, they're not going to say it how it is. I rate Raheem Sterling. I've got mad respect for Raheem Sterling for stuff off the pitch, area he's from, same area, all of that. But he's in the 100 club. Like, sit down, just give the guys flowers. That he's in the Premier League 100 clubs. I think he scored the most goals in the Champions League for an English player. I think I saw that. I could be wrong on that, but I'm sure I saw something like that.
Saviour for England, it's always done.
Saviour for England when everyone said Jack Grealish is better, and Jack Grealish can't even get a sniff. So sit down, Raheem Sterling haters, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he shouldn't, because he is a top player and he's always been, there or thereabouts in a conversation. And I think he goes, I don't know why he gets so much hate or gets underrated, because he's consistently done it at a top level.
Yeah, even City fans were like, oh, yeah, he's about time. He can move on. We don't mind, because he had a crap season last year by his standards. The other 3 seasons before that, he was brilliant.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yes. So anyway, he has joined the 100 club, which is great. Manchester City are winless in 4 Premier League games against Leeds, believe it or not.
They're winless in 4 Premier League games.
They are. I guess we're going back a long time, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, the last season there was only 2, but yeah.
I mean, they've drawn 2 and lost 2 since a 2-1 win at Main Road. So we're going back years under Kevin Keegan in January 2003. So stats sometimes can be deceiving. But since their return to the division last season, Leeds have won 6 of their 7 midweek games. This is a cool stat. They've won Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Premier League games, losing once and winning all 5 that's on a Tuesday, and they are playing on a Tuesday. So it was a good performance against Chelsea for Leeds. Do you think that they can get something from Manchester City?
I think they will put up a fight, but I don't think they'll win the game. I think they'll cause them problems, yes. They will be active, yes. They'll be intense, yes. But essentially, City will have too much. City will open them up, and they'll concede too many chances against City. I don't think that they'll hammer them. I don't think they'll hammer them at all. I don't think it'll be like 4-5-0. I think maybe 2-0 City.
Yeah, I think that's probably a safe bet, something like that. Will they get? Is Bamford fit? Didn't he injure himself celebrating?
I don't know how true that was. Yeah, because he came back obviously and scored in the last minute. I just think whoever's fit for Leeds, though. I mean, they will give them problems, but 2-0.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably going to back you as well and go 2-0 because I can't see Leeds scoring against them either. We need to keep track of these predictions, by the way, because we always forget them. We really need to keep doing this. Right, Norwich versus Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard obviously given a great reception when he went back to Anfield as expected. They lost though 1-0 Aston Villa. This is obviously Dean Smith facing his old side. So there's a little bit of heat and fire to this little fixture. However, they are the Premier League's lowest goal scorers this season in Norwich. It's only 8. They've failed to score. They've failed to score in a league high 10 games so far. Wow. So that's they've had the fewest shots on target. So apart from this Steven Gerrard versus Dean Smith, I mean, what else can this game give us to offer?
Yeah, I think obviously having just experienced Norwich, I do feel like we allowed them to play quite a lot and give them some confidence. But in fairness to them, they have been improving under Dean Smith. They have been. If you think about it, I think he got a win in his first game, then a draw, then I think they lost, and then they got a draw against us. So That's not too bad at all. I think Villa will have too much for them, though. I do. I think Villa are organised. Villa are well drilled, and they've played against Man City and against obviously Liverpool. Very, very tough games. So they gave decent accounts of themselves and have won the other games. So I think they beat Norwich. I think they beat them 2-0.
Okay, I reckon they're going to score Norwich. So I'm going to go 2-1 Norwich. I don't think it will be a good night for Dean Smith. But I think that Gerrard, from what I've seen from Gerrard so far, I genuinely think he's, a really good manager. I mean, Liverpool's a very difficult place to go to anyway. But I think that, he's on the right track with Aston Villa. And I kind of back them probably at the moment to beat most teams. Right, Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Conor Gallagher was on fire yesterday.
I like him, man.
Really I like him so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I really wish Chelsea would sell to Spurs or someone like that because he's exactly what I'm looking for, to be fair, in a player. Yeah. Crystal Palace have only lost one of their 8 home Premier League games this season. Really good record, winning 3, drawing 4. Only Liverpool have got a better record than that at home. Can Vieira carry on this great run of form that Crystal Palace are on?
I really like what he's doing. Chris Palace only lost one of their 8. Oh, they've put it up on screen. Yeah, I really like what he's doing. I watched them last night. I've been watching them all season. Anytime they've been playing live, I've watched pretty much all their games. And at the beginning, we kept saying that they're struggling to get the results that their performances deserve. And now they're doing it. The revelation of Gallagher, he's just got him playing so well. Patrick Vieira, his interview yesterday was good as well. To hear him, how happy he was to be there, how he wants to keep impressing the fans, and he's just a young guy enjoying his football. He's gone through the loan system, and now he's found somewhere, and he's playing so well. That second goal was unreal. What a goal that was! So I think and Southampton on the other hand just can't get any consistency coming off the battering from Arsenal, even though they played well in patches of the game. At home to Palace though, or Palace away to Palace. Palace rocking.
I know.
Palace win 2-0.
Okay, I'm going to go 3-1 Crystal Palace on this one. I feel like Southampton may get a goal, and just to try and mix out from yours, keep it fresh. Brighton against Wolves. Obviously, Brighton had their game against Spurs called off last week. After winning their first Premier League meeting with Wolves in October 2018, Brighton are winless in their last 5 against them in the Premier League. And also, the only other team other than Norwich to score fewer home goals this season is actually Brighton. And so again, not putting the ball in the back of the net, that's always the problem that we say that Brighton have. And Wolves, again, very similar. They create all these chances, but you get someone like Adama Traore in that final third, and for all the hard work he does, if he could put the ball in the back of the net, he'd be unstoppable, but he just can't.
Yeah, exactly. He's not consistent enough. I think I saw he's only scored like 5 goals or something like that in all them games. It's like flipping it. When you see how effective he can be, he's hardly got any goals. Was it like 7 goals in his whole thing? Something like that. I can't remember. But Wolves are that team though that again, Bruno Lage he managed to settle them down at the beginning of the season. They just couldn't score. Then they sorted it out, and it helped their league position climb. They were given as good as they got against City in terms of just sitting in there, frustrating them, and 2 stupid yellow cards from Raul Jimenez. And it still took a penalty to win the game. It wasn't like City ran away with it. So they're an organised team. I think they beat Brighton. Brighton. They do. Brighton are good at home, solid.
They are literally like the queen and king of draws, though, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of draws. So we either Wolves 1-0 or 0-0 draw.
Yeah, do you know what? I really can't split this because, like I said, I think Wolves would be so good if they go in January and sign a striker. But just up top, I just don't necessarily back them to put the ball in the back of the net. I'm going to go. What did you say? You're going to go with a Wolves win? Did you say
Wolves 1-0?
All right, I'm going to go with a draw. If Neil Maupay is starting, I'm going to go with a 1-0 on this. Yeah. I'm going to go with a 1-0, but I really don't know who's going to score for Wolves, but I'm going to go with a 1-0. And finally, Burnley versus Watford. I mean, Burnley, again, just love a boring game, unfortunately. That was 0-0 the other day, wasn't it, against West Ham?
Yeah,
Watford are the only side without a Premier League clean sheet this season. They're conceded in each of their last 26 games in the competition. But Watford have won just one of their last 12 away league games against Burnley. The last time was in 2018. They went 3-1. So what do you think this is? I mean, Turf Moor is such a tough place to go because of how physical
tough place
they
to
are.
Go. It's Watford's biggest problem. Watford can beat Burnley, but not if they defend how they keep defending. Truce de Kong, he's just not good enough for the level. He keeps making big mistakes. He struggled. I do think, because I saw some little things that, people starting to have a go at Ranieri again. And look, they need a centre half. They need a centre half in January badly, maybe even two. Just not good enough in that area. Because I think what Ranieri's done there, he has stabilised them. He has given them belief. He has put intensity in their game. At the top of the pitch, you look at Joshua King. Obviously, there's no Ismail Assar right now. He's injured. That's a big miss. You look at Kuko.
But Dennis has been fantastic for Watford.
Dennis has been really good. And I think Sissoko's done okay as well. Cleverly, still probably not quite there yet. So we need a bit more quality in central midfield. I look at the fullbacks. Ngaki has done well coming in at left back because Rose has kind of struggled with fitness. And you look at Kiko, at right back. He's quick, strong, solid. It's the centre backs. The centre backs are a real issue for Watford. Yeah. And you look at how Burnley play. Two up front, Chris Wood, Barnes,
physical,
Vidra.
so physical. You know that those defenders are going to get pushed off the ball. You know it.
Yeah.
You know it.
So I like Watford. I always want them to do quite well, but I just worry for them against Burnley because at centre back they're just not good enough. And if True starts again against Wood and Barnes, I just worry for him, man. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Okay, I'm actually going to back Burnley on this. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 2-0 Burnley. I'm going to go 2-0 Burnley on this. Especially the fact
I think Watford will score. I think they will score. Yeah, true. And they're at home, Burnley. I think Watford will score. I just can't see them keeping a clean sheet. And I think a lot of Watford fans would probably say that too. Someone said there, bring Kabasele back. Exactly.
Yeah, I saw that. And that was actually, that was a good shout, actually. For whoever said
better than Troost right now. He's in a real bad moment, Troost. He needs some time out, I reckon.
Yep, absolutely. Right, so that's everyone. Head over to the Don Robbie Extra app, www.donrobbie.com for exclusive content. I obviously want to see your team of the week. So can we get that up, please? And we can go through it.
Yep.
Okay, so do you want to talk me through it?
Yeah, Cancelo just doing Cancelo things. Well, actually, I'll start with keeper. Pope, he made some really good saves to keep it 0-0. West Ham were probing. He made some big saves yesterday. I was going to give it to David De Gea because, he made a fantastic save from Kabach as well, down to his right that actually helped us win that game. But I went with Pope because he made quite a few more saves. Tierney, I thought was good in Arsenal's win. He was solid. Tompkins gets a goal for Crystal Palace, dominant performance as well. Gabriel got a goal as well, so I went with him and Cancelo again, just doing Cancelo things. Conor Gallagher, I mean, do I even need to explain why he's in there? It was brilliant. No. Tillemans 2 goals, and was on point against a poor Newcastle side, as was Maddison. Mason Mount as well, I thought was good.
Resurgence.
Against Leeds.
Big
resurgent, exactly. He's been out for a bit and trying to get back into it. Sterling hit the 100 club. He's got to go in there. I've got a lot of respect for him. Salah was the difference, obviously scoring that penalty as well.
I swear, Salah's been in every single team of the week that we've
does it every week. Even if he doesn't play well, he scores, or vice versa, where he plays amazing and gets all the goals and all the assists. He's just always minimum 8 out of 10. Minimum. Yeah. So, I mean, that's his lowest rating you're going to give him.
Totally agree with you. And like we said, Mason Mount's having a bit of a resurgence, and obviously Tielemans has just come back from injury as well. So, and come back with a bang, really. And the fact they obviously went out of Europe the other day and dropped into the Conference League. I think that maybe that will maybe be good for Leicester, actually, as that goes on, because how much effort and energy are they going to put onto the Europa Conference League, really? And they've struggled this season in the league, so maybe actually that is a good thing. And now they get players back from injury and things like that. But yeah, good team of the week. I like it a lot. As we said, make sure you go and pick your team of the week on the Don Robbie Extra app. Apart from that is all for today. We will obviously be back on, I think, Friday. We're going to obviously be previewing the weekend's games. It's a full week of fixtures starting tomorrow, so if you can keep up. And of course, we'll see you on Friday, and we have a good week.